Hi, I'm Tinny from Mini Bowl Design, and today, against my better judgment, I'm going to go through what's in my 11-pound pack for a 2-day hike. Now, I'm going to set a stopwatch here. Hang with me a minute. And I'm just going to talk for 10 minutes. And then when I upload it onto YouTube, I will load it in a little bit lower resolution and it'll be acceptable and won't be too crazy long. Okay, now before I start here, I want to say this pack isn't for everybody. This pack is for me. It was designed and built for me. It's to pack not in the wintertime, but in the middle summer when the temperatures run probably at the lowest 60 degrees and the highest around 100 degrees. And it's based on the AT, where there are shelters and water every so often. So having all of those, you can manipulate things and save a lot of weight by doing dual purpose and different things, which in other situations you wouldn't be able to achieve this lower weight. And I'm by no means any expert on this, so there's a lot to learn, and I'm sure people will give me some ideas, but I am kind of stuck in my ways, and there's certain things that I just won't go without, and certain other things that I just won't use. Okay, so let's get started. First off, very first thing out of the pack is going to be 20 ounces of water. Now, this has been around for a long time. This is a ultralight backpacker's trick. Instead of using an Nalgene bottle or aluminum bottle, you simply use a thin plastic soda bottle. They're amazingly tough and they work fine. They'll take a lot of beating. They hold plenty of water. They're very thin, super lightweight. I don't think you could get anything any lighter than this. But if you were to go out and have this as your only container for water, it would be a mistake, because if you did drop this on the rocks and punch a hole in it, you wouldn't have anything to carry your water in, and that would be a big problem. So, besides that, I also carry a platypus 32-ounce roll-up bladder that I could use instead of that. Actually, it's more than 32. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's like 42 or something like that. I also use this in the evening when I filter my water. I pump it into this, put the cap on, and that's all the water for my day. I can even fill my water bottles in the morning out of it. So I have two containers, so I have a backup for that. Okay, while we're on water, we might just well go right through the water filter. And I got to tell you, there's not a lot of stuff in this pack, so it's not going to take a really long time to go through it. Another thing I want to tell you about these bags is, when you're done with them and you're home and they're sitting around full of water, they will sometimes mildew depending on what was in them and everything else. So what I do, some people dry them out by putting aquarium pumps into them to pump air through them. I think Jason does that. My answer is I simply unscrew the top and flush them out with some fresh water, make sure there's no dirt or any foreign matter inside them. Then I put 3 drops of regular chlorine bleach in, put the lid on. And there's some moisture in there, but it's in chlorine, so I don't think bacteria will grow in it. Might be a good idea, maybe not. It's what I do. Okay, my water filter, after waffling back and forth, okay, that's my entire water filter. Now, I know that these are prone to plugging up, and I know what to avoid, but in the worst case scenario, I also carry a spare cartridge for it, so if it plugs up, I can simply screw that one out, screw this one in, and continue. And in the other side of this is the micro filter. This is a Hyperflow MSR Hyperflow filter, and this very thin micro filter, pre-filter, will really help you to keep your filter from plugging up. And that's all the water filtration. Okay, now my idea on shelter is I would always try to be at the shelter in the evening, in the AT shelter. But, like with the water bottle and everything else, you have to have a backup, because there's a chance that you could get to the shelter and it could be completely full and there just would be no place for you. I gotta admit, hikers are pretty... I've been in where the shelter was full and some poor soul comes up and says, man, it was raining, and they said, there's no room in there, is there? And I don't hike with a tent, so, you know, this guy is either going to spend the night in a poncho under a tree, or you're going to make room for him. So we slid over and made room for him. But you can't count on that, because not everybody's that nice. So, my main idea is to stay at the shelter, but if that doesn't work out, Plan B is go find 2 trees somewhere, roll out a survival blanket, put some rocks on all 4 corners of it, put your sleeping bag down, your ground pad, and then I have a very thin drop cloth that's 9 by 12. That's big enough to go the 9 way from my head to my toe, and then the 12 around. I can go around almost twice and peg it down with these cheapo aluminum pegs and slither in and get in my bag and be out of the water and wind. This is not the ideal setup. It's a last resort, but it is an option so that you don't end up in a poncho underneath the tree all night trying to stay dry. I know I could get lighter pegs, and I probably will. These are aluminum. They're not very heavy, but I know I could get titanium, so you don't need to tell me that. Okay, what's next? In the side pocket with that, I have 1 small tube of 100% DEET bug spray, and I have adhesive tape, medical tape, wrapped around it 2 places as a place to store tape if I need tape to tape on a bandage or something. Okay. Oh, and also right here in the side pocket where it's easy to get at, I've got a Ziploc bag with some TP in it. We're getting down to brass tacks here, guys. Okay, also in the back here I have my fuel for my stove, which is outside of my pack, down in this corner. It's just alcohol. If it spills, it'll evaporate right out. It won't stain anything. It won't hurt anything. It won't leave any smell. But I keep it in that outside pouch. And another roll of TP. Can't have too much. Okay. Now, this container, I waffled a long time before I actually put this container in, but I had so many small things that needed to be in a spot where I could get at them, easy to find, that rather than having bags and baggies, I just opted for one very lightweight, Plano original fixed compartment case from the fishing department of Walmart. And in this case, I got a lot of stuff. I have a half an ounce, maybe a quarter of an ounce of shampoo, one of these small dropper bottles. And I have some organic soap to wash up with. I have some steroid ointment. It's not really an ointment, it's a liquid for poison ivy. If you get poison ivy and put this on, it'll take care of it. As long as it isn't too far along, it'll take right care of it. I've used it quite a few times. It's amazing. And if you've ever had poison ivy on the trail, yeah, I got this from a doctor. So, has a bag with all my medication for 2 days, plus some painkillers, just ibuprofen. Okay, in this bag I have a spare fuel line for my M4 and a sewing kit. And over here I have the thimble for the sewing kit. And here I have some Preparation H suppositories. If you're out on the trail and you can't take a bath and you're out for a few days, you could have some problems, and this could be a lifesaver. Laugh if you want to, but if you've ever had a hemorrhoid, it's not a laughing matter. And this is bed balm. Very small container I cut down. It's got a snap lid. It's not very much of it. It's like probably a scant teaspoon, but you don't need a lot of it. You just lightly put it on a wound. It's very good stuff. And then over here I have mole skin and an assortment of bandages to bandage your fingertips or your knuckles. And I also have some of these suture-like things that if you get a big cut, you can pull it together and tape these and it'll hold it together. I got a bunch of those. And like I said, a piece of mole skin. So that basically takes care of that. Fairly simple setup. And could be a real lifesaver. So, we'll set that off to the side. Okay, that's everything in all the outside compartments in the pack. And we're up to 10 minutes, so I'm going to clip it off right here, and in the next video I'll do what's inside of the pack. I'm Tinny from Mini Bull Design. Get out and hike, take a friend, enjoy the great outdoors, and more important than anything, leave no trace, and have a really great day. Bye-bye.